Thank you, Gail. Thank you to our kids, Zach and Randy and Ethan and Olivia. That was very, very unexpected. And I'm almost at a loss for words, and I'm never at a loss for words, as you know. But I'd like to thank Gail. I'd like to thank Marlene and Adair for putting together this wonderful, wonderful evening. I'd also like to thank Andrew DeBella, who's our Director of Development at Go, who's been a tremendous, let's give Andrew a hand, please. And I'd like to thank Nancy, who spoke earlier, for her remarks representing the parents of Go students. What families and parents in the city had to manage over the past 2 years with COVID, it's just absolutely incredible that they've been able to do it. So, as you've heard a little bit, I became involved with Go in the fall of 1979. I had just graduated from law school, and I was sharing a house with friends, one of whom had graduated from Grace Church School. And one Saturday morning that fall, my friend Paul said to me, "Come on, we're going to go tutor some kids." And since I wasn't working at Cravath or Strook, I had a free Saturday. So off we went to what was then called the Grace Opportunity Project. It was located at Grace Church School, which provided the classrooms and books. And we were all volunteers on Saturday. There were about 10 to 15 of us, and we worked on reading and math with groups of 3 or 4 children from local public schools on the Lower East Side. And you've seen the picture that Gail put up there from that time, and I think that was 1984 and 1985. And yes, that's me with our Go kids. I'm the person in the picture who has the little kid behind going like this. Not surprising. And with the other volunteers in the Grace Church schoolyard. And what's amazing about that picture, looking back at it to me, is everyone looks so happy, even the kids. And the reason, I think, is because it really was a two-way street. We were giving the kids not only educational support, providing mentorship and personal attention in an educational setting that they didn't get in their public school classrooms. And for me and for the other tutors, it was incredibly rewarding to be able to connect with the children, to help out with their learning, and to see real progress. And as you've heard, that was the beginning of a 40-year philanthropic journey for me, and one that ended up including Melissa and our kids. I loved that. Thank you. I loved that Saturday tutorial program, and I ended up supervising it for almost 10 years. And in the course of that time, I got to meet the amazing teachers, social workers, volunteers, and others who made Go possible. And among them were Eleanor Ratner and Cree Harland, and sadly, Cree, who's on our board, couldn't be here tonight. They founded the Grace Opportunity Project in 1968. And I want to thank them for setting an incredible example of what giving back means, and for inspiring me to commit to the kids and Go and the kids that we served. It was their vision that the resources of an independent school, we didn't say privileged school in those days, but it was a privileged school, could be used to provide smart, motivated, but under-resourced students the educational support that they might need to succeed in school. And it was also their brilliance that we should start with children at a young age, in kindergarten or first grade, and provide a home away from home for these kids during the summer and all year round, each year through then it was grade 5. Now back then, Go had only 2 partners, Grace Church School and Grace Church. We had maybe 75 students in the summer program and 30 or so who came for tutoring on Saturday mornings. And it was there when I first met George Davison, another person who I'd like to thank, who's meant a tremendous amount to me personally, and who's been an inspiration to me. And George has had an unswerving commitment over almost 40 years to make available the resources of Grace Church School to further educational equity for all students in New York City, and he's been a driving force to bring Go to where it is today. So thank you, George. So Fast forward to today, more than 40 years after I first came to Go now serves, as you heard from Gail, more than 700 students in a 5-week full-day summer program and a similar number on Saturday mornings. The students are taught not by volunteer tutors, by more than 200 professional educators. We've expanded from one school located on 4th Avenue to 6 independent schools throughout Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn. The heads of 4 of these schools serve on our board. Not many not-for-profit organizations can say that they have successfully furthered a mission and expanded that mission continuously for over half a century, but that's Go. Not many organizations can say that they've made a real tangible difference in the lives of thousands of New York City public school children. Now, one of the many things that I've learned from George over the years relates to events like this. George always said in his remarks that at Grace Church School, we have long parties and short speeches. So Melissa and I are going to adhere to that advice. And in that, we'd like to conclude. Melissa's going to speak in a second. With you, very short. We'd like to conclude by giving you what we think is the best evidence of what Go has accomplished in the 40 years since I first joined. We could give you the statistics. For example, 90% of our students graduate high school on time, 80% go on to a 4-year college, which is double the citywide average among public school students. There are lots, yeah, it's amazing. There are lots more equally impressive numbers. But really, it's the evidence directly from our students that is the most compelling. Just as it was for me back in the 1980s, the demonstration of the success of Go is best revealed in the actual words of the kids we serve. How our students describe how Go has impacted their lives and changed their educational trajectories. We'd like to share 2 recent examples. These are from essays that 2 of our students wrote on their applications for financial aid in connection with applying to college. So here, I'm going to read the first, Melissa's going to read the second. Here's the first from Joe Shira. He wrote, "After college, I hope to attend law school and become a constitutional lawyer. I want to become a lawyer to help others that are in a tough spot, whether that is prosecuting or defending. I want to be able to help people that want to be heard but are unable to be heard. I want to be able to be someone's voice for a change that needs help. I hope to be able to become a successful lawyer so I can donate and volunteer so others can experience the amazing experience I had in the Go Project. I also hope to help my mom with whatever she needs in life, since she worked so hard for me and my siblings despite being a single mother. I want to be able to look after her like she looked after me. Without her, I wouldn't be able to access such an amazing program as the Go Project." That was Joe Shira.
So mine is from Daniel. I came from a family who spoke mostly in Spanish, and for me, it was quite hard to learn both languages at once. However, in 3rd grade, my Go Project teacher taught me I didn't have a disadvantage. In fact, I had an advantage over classmates. She taught me to break up the word and use my Spanish knowledge and context clues to identify the definition of a word. One thing I loved about Go Project is that the classes weren't too big, and because my teacher was able to give me most of her attention, allowing not only a teaching connection, but also an opportunity for me to be able to talk about how I was feeling. One of my favorite teachers from Go Project is Miss Wendy. She celebrated Chinese New Year, and she told us that usually you'd give somebody money for the holiday. I remember that she said, "But I'll give you something worth more than money." She then proceeded to hand envelopes to everyone, and I became so anxious to find out what was worth more than money. Once I opened the envelope, I saw a letter. "Dear Daniel, you are very bright. Your hardworking and determined character will take you far in the future." At first, I was hugely disappointed. However, after a couple of years, I cleaned out my room and encountered the letter. And as I read, tears almost began to form because of the idea that someone gave up a bit of their time to write a personal letter telling me that they believed in me. At that moment, I understood what she meant when she said it was worth a lot more than money. It filled my body with hope and determination, and I didn't want to let her down. She may not remember me, but her words will be with me forever.
So it's for the thousands of students like Josiah and Daniel and what Go has been able to help them accomplish on their educational journey that Melissa and I and our family have supported Go, and for whom we hope that all of you will continue to support Go to allow it and its students to grow and thrive for another 40 years. We thank you, Melissa and I thank you so much for this incredible honor and for supporting such an amazing, impactful organization. Thank you very much.